this week we're going to be focusing on building a few of the skills that we've been learning in the last 2 workouts, but also continuing to strengthen and to build more poomsae skills and some sparring skills as well. So let's get right into it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the warm-up. So first thing is going to be alternating knee-ups. There will be 2 versions of this. You can do knee-ups in place like this, just alternating between legs, lifting them up as high as you can. Really working on getting your hips warmed up. The second variation, if you want a little bit more speed, is to add the jump into it. And you can do double jumps, and you can also just do high knee raises or high knee jogging. And we're going to be doing this for 1 minute. The second exercise we're going to be doing is going to be inchworms. We're going to be doing 15 reps of these. So for inchworms, there's 2 variations. You can go here, bend down, walk the hands out, try and take tinier steps. You can either push up from here or come down to a cobra, I think, cobra pose. And then from here, up, and the feet walk in. And if you're in limited space, you'll just have to turn around and do it back and forth every single time. I'll demonstrate one more time. So you bend down, hands will walk out to planking position, push up or cobra pose, and then feet walk back in. And then stand up. 15 times. All right, for our third exercise, we're gonna be doing squat jumps. We're gonna be doing 15 reps of these. So when you do a squat jump, make sure feet are underneath the hips, underneath the shoulders. And when you bend down, stick the butt back, bend. And then once you're at your deepest part of the squat, push up. Try and explode through your legs to really push yourself up high and tense all of your muscles at the same time. So from the side, you're gonna be here, squat down, and up. And from here, you'll just reset and keep going 15 times. Our next exercise for the warm-up is going to be arm circles. So all you're going to do is just big ol' windmill kind of arm circles going forwards. So we're spinning towards the front of us. After you've done about 10 spins going forward, do 10 spins going backwards. And the next thing we're going to do is hip circles. So hands on the hips, and you're just going to move your hip around. And I'm going in the counterclockwise direction first. You can go clockwise or other. We're going to be switching after 10 reps and going the other way anyway. As long as you do both sides, no biggie. And go ahead and go the other direction. Really try and focus on getting a large range of motion to loosen up the hips, the glutes, and the side hip flexors as well. All right, the next one is going to be knee circles. So together, hands on your knees, and we're going to move our knees around in circles just like this. Same thing as the hips. Doesn't matter which direction you go first. We'll be doing 10 reps and then switching and going the other direction too. And go ahead and switch. Alright, so the last one we're going to be doing for our warm-up is going to be ankle circles. So you can use the wall or a chair for support on this. You can also just do it freestanding, one leg up, and one ankle is just going to be rotating like this. You're going to go 10 kind of in one direction, and then you're going to switch directions and go the other way with the same foot. And once you've done that, go ahead and switch sides. This can also be a good balance exercise as well. For those of us who do know like crane stance, you can sit in a crane stance while you do this. Make sure you switch directions. If you're having a hard time balancing, some kind of a random rule of thumb is always to take your finger and put it on your nose. Sometimes it helps. That's it for the warm-up, so let's go ahead and move on to the next part. Okay, so after the warm-up, next thing is going to be some flexibility. We're going to do some stretches to kind of stretch out after that. So first things first, let's go into hip flexor stretch. So it doesn't matter what side you'll do because we'll do both. So from here, nice deep lunge. Make sure your foot tries to stay underneath your knee as much as possible. Straighten that back leg. We're gonna hold this for like 15 seconds. After you've done that, go ahead and rotate your back foot so that it's flat, but still keep your hips facing forward. And we're gonna hold this position for 15 seconds as well. From here, you're going to put your back knee down and heel will come up and you're gonna go rock back, sit on that back leg and stretch forward towards the front knee. And we're gonna hold this for 15 seconds as well. The last stretch we're gonna do for this side is going to be hip and hamstring, so go ahead and switch over. Make sure this leg is straight, try and get your heel on the ground. If that means you're up higher so that your heel can be fully on the ground, please do so. And this foot points towards the sky. And we're gonna hold this for 15 seconds. Once you're done with those, you go ahead and repeat those same exercises on the other leg. Once you finish that, the next thing we're gonna be doing is half split stretches. So we're gonna be doing 30 seconds, 2 times on each side without switching. So we're gonna go ahead and pick a side first. Woo! Balance. And we're gonna go ahead and go into that half splits. And we're gonna hold it for 30 seconds. Once you've done your 30 seconds, go ahead and just fall to the ground like I did. And we're gonna rest here for a few seconds. And then for the second 30 seconds, you'll go back onto that same side. All right, so let's go back up. When you're doing half splits, try and focus on keeping one leg straight. The other one can be on the knee. And you wanna have your foot that's pointing kind of behind you instead of trying to straighten it out all the way. This will just really help you target one side at a time for your front splits. Once you've done that, go ahead and repeat 2 30-second rounds on the other leg. Okay, so for our last couple stretches, we're going to be doing seated, tuck in the knee, stretch forward, stretch. Words. So make sure here, tuck this foot in as tight as you can. Have both hands reaching towards your leg. Try and reach and get your head towards your knee. When you are doing the stretch, make sure you're not bending from the back and you're bending from the waist so that you stretch your glutes and your hamstrings and you're not stretching your back. That's not the goal. After you hold this for about 15 seconds, the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take that leg that was tucked and you're gonna bring it up. You can either sit here, have the leg kind of crossed with your bottom leg, or you can grab your leg and cradle it kind of like you would a baby. The goal for this is to stretch out your glutes a little bit. So for me, I'm not very flexible with my glutes, so I'm gonna stay in this position because I get a better stretch here. But for those of you who are more flexible, cradling it will be able to get you a tighter stretch. After this one, you're gonna go ahead and grab your foot. You can grab on the outside or on the inside. I prefer to grab the heel, and we're gonna extend it out. And this one you can extend back as far as you are able. If that means you're a little bit more forward, or if your leg can't fully extend, that's okay. The goal is just to go as far as you can. Once you've done that, we'll repeat those 3 stretches on the other leg. Okay, so now we're on to the strength section. So for the first part, we're gonna be doing 3 exercises with 10 reps each, roughly. If there's sides, then we'll do 10 per side. And you'll do 3 rounds of those 3 exercises. So first exercise we're gonna be doing is burpees. We're gonna be doing 10 burpees. So if you've never done a burpee before, basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna jump, and then once you've done that, hands come down, feet pop out into a plank position. You can do a push-up here if you wish, or feet come back in and you jump back up. So basically it's a cycle of jumping back and forth. So that would be 1 rep. So we would jump, pop, that's 1. And we'll repeat that 10 times. So one more time, jump, hands down, feet out, feet in, and jump. 10 reps. Okay, so your second exercise for the strength section, we're gonna be doing elevated, like floating all four alternating limbs, for a better word. So what you're gonna be doing is you're gonna start on your all fours, hands and knees. From here, you're gonna secure your feet on the balls of your feet and lift the knees up. And from here, you're gonna take opposite hand and opposite leg and extend them outward and alternate. So extend and pull in. Extend and pull in. Extend and pull in. You can do one side and do 10 reps and then switch and do 10 reps, or you can do them alternating to 20. Either one. Our last exercise for the strength section is going to be single leg squats. So you can use a chair or a wall for support on this. What you're going to be doing is one leg will be on the ground, one leg will be in front of you, and you're just going to bend down as far as you can go and then push back up. If you can go all the way down and do a pistol squat, great. If you don't, if you can't, that's okay too. You got janky legs like me. So one more time, one leg in front, one leg, bend it as far as you can, and push back up. Remember, when you're doing a single leg squat, try to really control the bend of the leg. Try not to let your knees cave in or cave out. Try and keep it as straight up and down as you can. Leg aligned with the knee, the ankle, and the hip. So if you see here, my leg is all in a straight line. I tried to waver. And then I push back up. 10 reps on each side. And once you've done those 3 exercises, go ahead and repeat the circuit 2 more times. Okay, so for the second part of the strength section, we're going to be doing 2 sets of the following exercises to work on hip conditioning for our kicks. So first thing we're going to be doing is a front kick hold, and we're going to hold that for 45 seconds each per leg. So again, use the wall for support on this if you need it. And what we're going to be doing is you're going to lift your knee up as high as you can for front kick. From here, extend the leg out, and you're going to hold for 45 seconds. Try and keep that as high as you can. If you feel your leg sinking, really try and fight it and lift it back up. Don't let your foot touch the ground until the timer is done. And once you're done with that, go ahead and repeat that on the other side. Our second exercise for this section is going to be a side kick hold. So much like we did with the front kick, we're going to be in side kick position and we're going to be holding this for as well. Except this one we're holding for 1 minute on each leg. So from here, on the wall, make sure your bottom foot points towards your supporting hand or as far away from where you would be kicking as possible. You're going to lift up your leg for side kick position. Once the timer starts, extend your leg out, balance it, try and keep your leg up as high as you can. And we're going to be holding that for 60 seconds. And then once you're done with that, repeat that on the other side as well. Our final exercise for this section is going to be roundhouse kick figure eights. Not infinity signs. That's not this time. So to do a roundhouse kick figure eight, what you're going to do is, I would use a wall or something to balance with for this one. You're going to get into roundhouse kick position, so you're extended out. And then you're going to start drawing figure eights. So you're going to come up and back down, and that'll be 1 as once you completed a full 8, that's 1 rep. Up and back down. Try and go as high and as low as you can. The more dramatic of a figure 8 you can make with the bigger loops, the better it will be for your hips and muscular control. So all the way up and back down is 1 rep. We're going to be doing 10 reps on each leg. So I'll demonstrate one more time. Extend the leg, bring it up, and back down for 1 rep. Up, and back down, 2 reps. 10 on each side. And once you've done all 3 of those exercises, go ahead and repeat them 1 more time, all the way through the set. All right, so moving on to the technique strength. Moving on to the technique section, we're going to start with some reviewing of footwork and going into some combinations and counters for sparring. So first thing, everyone get into your guarding stance. And we're going to start with bouncing. We're going to do this for about 30 seconds. So make sure to get on the balls of your feet. We don't need to be jumping off the ground. We just need to be moving our heels off the mats. And we're staying on the balls of our feet the entire time. If you are jumping and catching a little bit of air, that means you won't be able to move as fast in the match because you're not physically touching the ground. And if you take a kick while in the air, you go flying. And if that's your goal, great. But for most of us, our goal is to be able to move as fast as possible. And so bouncing, staying on the balls of your feet will allow you to do so. Once you're doing that, go ahead and switch sides. And once 30 seconds is up for that, next thing we're going to be doing is some switches. So we're going to go ahead and do 10 times back and forth, and we'll do those together. So from here, stay bouncing the entire time. You're going to be bouncing through all of these footwork drills we're doing. So bouncing, and go. Switch. So when you switch, try not to switch by spinning, by having your legs try and draw a circle on the ground, because that takes longer. When you switch, you want to try and switch front to back. So here, quickly, back and forth instead of going around, around. So notice my hips have to turn a lot more when I do that, versus they stay a little bit more diagonal, and we switch back to the diagonal. And switch, 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 switch. Nice job. Okay, next one we're going to be doing is skipping step. So from here, we're going to be in your guarding stance. We're going to be bouncing. Back foot is going to come to the front foot, and then front foot comes out. So breaking it up, together and apart. Back foot moves first, front foot moves second. Speeding it up, it looks like this. And you can do it backwards as well. Front leg will move first together, back leg comes out second. So if you're moving backwards, your back foot moves last. If you're moving forwards, your front foot moves last. So we're here, and slide back. And forward, forward, back, back. Go ahead and do 10 reps moving forward and 10 reps moving backwards on one side, and then switch legs and do the same thing. Okay, our next thing we're going to be doing is a slide. And so for a slide, what you're going to be doing is from your guarding stance, you're bouncing. Both feet are going to move at the same time, and the goal is that the distance between our legs doesn't change throughout the movement. So we're here, and we slide, slide. Notice how this is different from the skip, where we purposely close the legs and then spread them back out. The slide, we stay the same consistent spacing the entire time. And you can move backwards with this one as well. We're going to do 10 reps on each side, going forward and backwards, and then switch legs. Okay, for a slight variation on the slide, we're going to be doing two different versions. We're going to be doing front foot first and a rear foot first. This could be a front foot slide and a rear foot slide if you need specific names for those. So from here in your guarding stance, when we did the first slide, both feet moved at the same time. They both went together. For this one, we're going to be doing our front foot moves first. So you're going to shift the weight onto your back leg. Your front foot is going to pick up and move forward. So slide, shift the weight back, front leg up, move forward. And to go backwards, you're going to shift forward, back leg is able to come up and slide back. Shift forward and slide back. So go ahead and do 10 reps moving forward and 10 reps moving backwards, and then repeat that on the other leg as well. All right, our last footwork drill is going to be sidestepping. So from here, you're going to be in your guarding stance. And as the old rule of thumb, if you're moving left, left foot will always move first, no matter what leg is in front. If you're moving right, right foot will always move first, no matter what leg is in front. And the other thing to always remember is we never want to have our legs crossed like this when we're doing the side step, because we aren't able to kick with that back leg, and we're also off balance, so we can't take kicks as well either. Meaning off balance is going to be harder for us to defend ourselves and harder for us to counter, and then also harder for us to recover. So we're going to do side steps. We're going to do to the left first. So I'll switch for you. So to our left first, left leg will move first. And step, to go to your right leg will move first. And remember, we're still balancing throughout this, and then we're gonna go back to our left. And then 2 more to your right. And then we're going to switch legs. Go ahead and do 5 moving to your left and 5 moving to your right with the other leg in front. And then we'll move on to the next part of the technique section. Alright, so the next part of the technique section is going to be combinations and counters. So your first combination is going to be 2 rear roundhouse kicks. So what you're going to do is in your guarding stance, your hands are going to be up, back leg, make sure you're bouncing, back leg's going to come up, roundhouse kick, set it down, back leg comes up, roundhouse kick, and then set it down. That's your first combination, but we don't want to do it that slow. The difference between 2 separate kicks and a combination is the speed with which we do them together. They look like one movement instead of 2 separate movements. So when you do your combinations, really try to focus on, once you've got the motion, speeding them up so that they can go faster, and so that when you're in a sparring match, if your first kick doesn't land, you're fast enough on that second one to score. So we're here, 1, 2, and set it down. One more time. 1, 2, and reset. We're gonna do 8 reps on each leg. So with your left leg in front, do 8 times with your right leg starting, and then when you're doing your right leg in front, 8 reps with your left leg starting. For our second combination, we're gonna be doing For your second combination, we're doing a skipping roundhouse kick followed by a rear leg roundhouse kick. So for those of us who haven't learned a skipping roundhouse kick, we're going to be combining that skipping step we learned in the footwork section with a roundhouse kick with our front leg. So what you're going to do is skipping step, rear leg comes up, front leg will kick out, and set it down. Sped up, it looks like this. So rear leg comes up, front leg comes out, and set it down. So for the combination, you're going to be doing a skipping roundhouse kick followed by a rear leg roundhouse kick. So skipping round, set it down, rear leg roundhouse kick, set it down. That's 1 rep, and as you do these, you'll alternate sides. So you're going to do 8 on each side. Your last combination is going to be a punch, push, rear leg roundhouse kick. So in your guarding stance, you're going to have your hands up. We're going to do a rear hand punch. So remember, it comes back to the shoulder, follows through, chest height, imagining that chest guard on somebody who is about your size. Punch, and then from here, you're clenching, push, and then rear leg roundhouse kick. So one more time, guarding stance, punch, push, rear leg roundhouse kick. This one, kind of feel it out as you go. As long as you perform 8 kind of reps using each side, fine by me. All right, so we're gonna do our counters now. So for your first counter, we're gonna be doing a step back and a rear leg roundhouse kick. So you're gonna be in your guarding stance. I'll switch to this side. In your guarding stance, front leg is going to step back and follow up with a rear leg roundhouse kick. So one more time, you're in your guarding stance, front leg steps back, and then pushes off to do a rear leg roundhouse kick. Again, when you do a counter, you want to be fast as you do it so that when you are evading somebody's kick, you respond quick enough to catch them back off guard. So one more time, front leg, and push off. We're going to do 8 reps on each side. The second counter you're going to do is a slide back and a rear leg roundhouse kick. So from here, you're going to be in your guarding stance, both feet move for a slide back, roundhouse kick. You can also do a rear leg slide and roundhouse kick. Either one, 8 reps on each side. As an alternate to this one, if you are more advanced, you're going to be doing a slide and a back kick instead. So from here, you can do double foot slide, back kick, or you can be doing rear leg slide, back kick, or a spinning hook kick. The other step we're going to be doing for footwork is a step. Super, super difficult to understand. So you're going to be in your guarding stance, front leg, step back, or back leg, step forward. Do 8 reps moving forward and backwards on each side. All right, for the final section of the kind of techniques area, we're going to be doing a little bit of kumse. So remembering from last week, we learned the first 6 moves of Tae Geuk Iljong, or the Tae Geuk 1, first form. Now we're going to be picking up and doing the 6 through 12, because there's a total of 18 moves in this form. All right, so as a review, let's go ahead and start from the beginning. So start from Chimbi, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from here, you want to make sure you have your left leg in front, right hand out for punching. So next move, you're going to take your back leg, you're going to bring it up to your front foot and out to your right side. And you're going to do a reverse inside block. And reverse means it's the opposite hand with the leg that's in front. So since our right leg is in front, we're going to be using our left hand. And then step forward, punch. That's moves 7 and 8. And then we're going to repeat those on the other side. So for that turn, we're going to be doing a long turn, the same thing that we did on the moves 3 and 2. So front leg is going to move all the way around to the other side, and right hand inside block. And then step forward, punch. That takes us through 10. Move 11, you're going to take your front leg, move it forward, long front stance and low block, and then reverse punch. That's move 12. No step on that one. So watch this over as many times as you need until you can confidently go through those moves on your own, and then put them together with the first 6 moves. I will have the full form linked in the description of the video, and for those of us who already know the form, just run through it a couple times to review it, and then run through Tae Geuk 2, and for those of us who are learning Tae Geuk 3, I have that linked as well for you to review the tutorial, and we'll talk about some of the more technical aspects of those moves in next week's video. Alright, so the last section is going to be the cool down, so we're going to do a seated straddle stretch, and we're going to stretch it in some different positions, and then a butterfly stretch, and then we'll be wrapped up for today. So go ahead and take a seat on the ground, put your legs out. You can either go into a straddle and then kind of sit down, or do it the way I did. And from here, you're going to stretch towards the center. You want to try and get it, again, bending from the hips and not from the back. So when you're here, you stretch, bending here to go forward instead of bending at the back to go down. We're going to hold 15 seconds to the center, 15 seconds to your left leg, and then your right leg, and then back to center. Okay, our last stretch is going to be butterfly, so just go ahead and put your feet together and you flap your wings, your knees, your legs. Just lightly bounce them. You can also grab your ankles and kind of use your elbows to push your hips down a little bit too. Really just kind of relaxing after all the work that we just did. Great work this week, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye!